really knows how to close the show. And here we are in our final fight of the evening. It's the Masters Gym last chance to get into the win column with that man. Go ahead and set it up for us, Fred.
Dimitri Alexudis, one of the heavyweights of the Master Gym, will meet a formidable opponent, and that is Jerrel Venetiaan. Venetiaan comes from the VIII Gym, the gym where Ernesto Host, the three-time K1 winner, trains as well. The gym where Ivan Hippolyte is training as well, the former world champion, the man who fought so many times in Thailand and outside of Thailand, of course. Well, so that will be a difficult task for Alexudis.
Yeah. Alexudis has a lot of pressure on his shoulders because the head instructor of Masters Gym had made the statement earlier on that they are proud, win or lose, and that they only fight the best of the best. But Jerrel Venetiaan is definitely the best of the best because in 2001 he won the Dutch K1 tournament. So they definitely picked a tough opponent to end the night with.
Well, and one more, Jerrel Venetiaan was matched with Alexei Ignashov in Amsterdam about a year ago, and he beat Ignashov on points.
Wow.
So that means you have somebody in front of you who knows how to deal with many, many situations. Jerrel Venetiaan in the dark man, and this is of course Dimitri Alexudis from the Master Gym, who looks a bit apprehensive.
Yeah, he's I mean, Venetiaan, one of the nicest guys you want to meet in the sport, but such an unbelievable technician, and you would have to be training on a day-to-day basis with Mr. Perfect, Ernesto Host himself.
Definitely. Round one. In blue, that is Dimitri Alexudis, and the purple gold pants, that is Jerrel Venetiaan.
We'll call him root beer color.
What do you call it?
Root beer. It's a drink.
Root beer color. Okay.
Yes, friends, it's true. I am an American, and my colleague, Fred Royers, is a Dutchman. But we work together here in Germany for this wild event. Been some great fights tonight. And Venetiaan had turned to southpaw momentarily.
Well, I was impressed with the way that Venetiaan was handling Ignashov, the tall Russian who is one of the great promises on the K1 circuit. And Venetiaan just, he outsmarted him. The big Russian fighter just came on walking up to him, and he was never able to lay a hand on Jerrel Venetiaan. It shows that Venetiaan is not only a strong fighter, a physically strong fighter, but also a very clever fighter. Alexudis, the German, also has a professional boxing background, knows how to punch, is a strong puncher.
But there's no question that Jerrel is the quicker of the two.
Definitely.
And I think that is going to be a problem that Dimitri is going to find hard to solve in this particular match.
Well, you see, the problem, of course, is that many people who are professional boxers or who train with boxers think that that's enough to beat a Thai boxer. But of course, don't forget the low kicks. That's the difference. The moment you start putting low kicks into a fight, everything changes. The distance changes, the way you receive pain changes, your punches change, everything changes. And that, of course, is something that many people don't understand. Now you see, the moment that Dimitri punches, Venetiaan gives a kick to the leg. Now once you start having pain in your legs, you only start thinking of the pain. You don't start thinking of attacking anymore.
That's a very good point. And unless Dimitri can hurt Venetiaan with a punch, this will continue. This pattern of the low kick, which is really one of the primary strategies that comes out of the VIII Gym, Johan Vost being the master instructor. Even though he teaches his fighters to have great hands, punching combinations, they either begin or end their punching combinations with a low kick.
Yes, definitely. Well, we saw a short while ago when we met, we saw how Ernesto Hoest was knocking out Jan Nortje, the giant South African. I mean, that guy weighs 160 kilograms. and just by inflicting pain on his rear leg, the low kicks, Nortje just fell down. He couldn't stand anymore. His leg could not support him any longer. And it just shows you that how a relatively simple technique, like a low kick, can be devastating.
Okay, and there it is. He trapped, that was great. He trapped the right low kick of Dimitri and went to throw his own right hand, but decided to throw the right kick instead, and down it went. I was at that fight where Hoost fought Jan Nortje, and Jan came out in the first round and tried to knock out Hoost with a punching combination, and it looked very good, but the problem was Hoost is so good at blocking punches and weathering storms, having been in with such power punchers as Michael Bernardo and Jerome LeBanner, that he just waited till the punches ended, then bang, threw the low kick. And as you said before, after a couple rounds, Jan got chopped down very much like a tree out in the forest.
Well, that's what low kicks tend to do, you know. People, in the beginning, when here in Europe people started working with those low kicks, many people who were in the old full contact system said, "Wow, what's a low kick? I mean, anybody can do that." But after a while, you know, very soon they understood that it was a really effective technique. Round 2.
Yeah, it's interesting, Fred, because you were one of the fighters who made the transition from full contact into low kick fighting. But not a lot of guys did make that transition successfully. Many failed. But now it's understood that if you're going to fight in kickboxing internationally, you must deal with not only the punches and the kicks above the waist, but also the kicks at the leg.
Up until now, the fight has been going all the way to Jerrel Venetiaan, the man in the root beer colored trunks.
Very good. Oh, but Dimitri lands a grazing left hand. Didn't have a lot of power on it. Dimitri throws his own low kick there. Looks like a tough guy, but technically, I would have to say he was inferior to Jerrel.
Definitely, you can see that the way he seems a bit stiff in the back region. But it's difficult to fight a man like Venetiaan, who has been in with the best, who has sparring partners like Ernesto Hoost, who is a very sound fighter, a technically sound fighter. Right now in taking the southpaw position, Jerrel Venetiaan from Holland. And you see the difference in low kicks.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see that Alexudis is a boxer who has been taught to kick. But it's not something that comes natural to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While in Venetiaan's case, you can see he is a Thai boxer who has been trained right from the beginning with punches and kicks.
And I think what it is that Venetiaan does not have to think about what he's going to do. He does these things automatically. Whereas Dimitri, it's that extra second where he has to think about blocking a kick, thinking about throwing his own kick. And in that time it takes him to think, he's going to get countered.
The knees of Jerrel Venetiaan are now coming through as well in this clinch situation. And it's clear that even in this round, it's still Jerrel Venetiaan who's in charge of the action.
And Jerrel back in southpaw position, really nice right uppercut from the outside. And it looks like Dimitri is starting to drop his hands in the punching exchange, and that could be disastrous.
Well, Alexudis knows that he has to do something. You can see that by the way he's advancing now. Well, that's more of a psychological thing to do by Jerrel Venetiaan.
The VIII gym definitely has their own version of neck wrestling, because rather than do the Thai neck wrestling with the two arms around the neck, they cross-face one arm and push the guy's head down to the side and get him ready for a knee to the head. Another round for Jerrel. And there's the low kick out of the punching exchange, and virtually none of those punches by Dimitri landed.
Well, it's a very typical technique in Thai boxing. I mean, you know that when somebody punches, he has to stand on his leg. I mean, you can't give a punch standing on one leg. So if you anticipate that punch coming, you just have to make the low kick, and it always connects. Now, as long as you keep your hands up, you can just throw the low kick or evade the punches at the same time. Wonderful uppercut there by Jerrel Venetiaan.
And Venetiaan definitely getting the better with his hands over the boxer, which I think in this round Venetiaan is going to come out like a wild man. I think because I think he's been patient the first 2 rounds. I think he's finished with the feel-out round. I think he's going to go for the KO in this round. He's not videotaping us. Oh, yes, he is. Well, we waved to him, so
That's why he's smiling.
that's right.
Ringfly voor jullie niet te doen.
I guess they don't allow women in the event, right?
Thrown in the ring. Round 3 in this fight between Jerrel Venetiaan, the root beer color trunks, and his opponent from Germany, that is Dimitri Alexudis in blue.
Alexudis has got to step up the pace here. If I were him, I would, even if he ate a low kick on the way in, he's got to turn this fight into a brawl. He can't sit on the outside like this and try and pick Venetiaan apart, because that's Venetiaan's game.
Well, the problem is, of course, that when he starts doing that, if you want to brawl, you have to come in close.
Yes.
And the moment he comes in close, Venetiaan will grab it on his neck and start clinching.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's another department in which the Dutchman is better.
So basically, I guess you're insinuating that the man from Master Gym is in a lose-lose situation.
Well, it's a no-win situation, that's true. I mean, he seems to be slower than Venetiaan. He seems to be not better in neither the punching or the kicking department. The only thing he can do is just maybe brawl and then use more power. And the moment that Venetiaan comes in close for a clinch situation, push him away. But that's look what he's doing. He's covering up.
I think his only chance is to brawl, because when he goes into the clinch, he doesn't throw punches. He should just at least try to throw punches in the clinch, because right now he'll get into the clinch and he'll stop throwing punches. The tactical difference would be just go in there like it's a street fight and just start trying to throw wild punches and see if you can catch this guy, because right now what he's doing is not working.
Once again, the low kick of Venetiaan connected, and you can see already now that the effect of this kick is beginning to show.
Well, that high kick was sloughed off a little bit, but he's reminding Dimitri, looks like we had an unintentional, but Venetiaan did not agree with that particular complaint by his opponent. And then
of course, the thing you see very often is when somebody hits an opponent a lot with low kicks, he will suddenly shift the leg up and go to a high kick, because the attention of the hurt fighter is being geared towards the injured leg.
Right.
Inside low kick by Venetiaan.
And that was from southpaw, so it was a harder kick than, and he switched back to orthodox.
Always following with the right low kick. I mean, he must have got about 24 low kicks already on this leg.
Okay, now that knee definitely was low. It was unintentional, but I don't think Venetiaan would dispute that. But it didn't cause a stop in the action, because Dimitri was not injured, but still.
Well, it would be a sad thing to do. I mean, if this happened right now, on this moment of the fight, where Venetiaan is dominating, to have an injury like that, and the decision where the fight is being stopped, it would be too bad.
Now see, right there, he started to do well, but then he just stopped and started to try to clinch himself.
I shouldn't do that.
No. Why try and clinch with a guy who's better at clinching than you? He's hanging tough. He's probably lasting longer than a lot of people thought he was going to last.
Well, look at the faces of the audience. I mean, they seem to be a bit disappointed by the proceedings, by the action of their man, Dimitri Alexudis. Of course, it's not easy to fight a man like Jerrel Venetiaan.
No. Many have tried and many have failed. Jerrel, with that high kick, thank God that Dimitri turned his head a little bit to the side and kept his hand up. Otherwise, the fight could have been over. Now, that high kick, even though it was blocked, seemed to stun the man from Masters Gym.
Yes, definitely.
did.
Yes, it did. It hurt. Well, round 4 we go. We go for 5 rounds. This is round 4 in blue. That is Dimitri Alexudis. And on the other side is opponent Jerrel Venetiaan from Holland.
Such perfect technique by Jerrel.
Good high kick there once again.
Yeah, he likes that left high kick since he saw it kind of stunned Dimitri at the end of that last round.
We're waiting for the offensive, for the huge offensive actions of Alexudis, because he must understand that he has to come now. He has to start doing something.
Absolutely. He is way behind in this fight. He's got to get at least a couple knockdowns, probably a knockout. He needs to get to win this fight.
Again, the high kick by Jerrel Venetiaan, who was, yes, getting stronger and stronger. Was that a knee?
It looked like it. He set this combination up with a high kick followed by a right hand to the head, and then they got into that dreaded clinch, and Venetiaan dropped that left knee into the ribs, and that's basically all she wrote.
End of the fight. Knockout in round 4. Winner, Jerrel Venetiaan of Holland. And we'll be waiting for the slow motion to see exactly what happened there in that situation.
Yeah, it was definitely right on the floating rib to the side of the solar plexus. He went right, and then he came in again. There was the roundhouse kick. Oh, it was a kick. It was a roundhouse kick. It was not a knee.
It looked like he stepped in with a knee, but it wasn't indeed
Yeah.
the roundhouse
From
kick.
the first angle we saw, it did look like a knee, but it was a clean shin kick.
Jerrel Venetiaan.
Man, this guy's impressive, and he fights mixed martial arts too.
He does.
He does. He's such a complete fighter standing up.